Okay, so let's start from the beginning. The 7th of October, midnight, me, my brother Dan, and a couple of friends of mine, Adir and Sarah, we decided to go in one car, and we left Tel Aviv around 1 a.m. We got here around 2:30 a.m. Okay. At 2:30 we got to the entrance, and we normally, when you get to a festival, there is a lot of traffic at the entrance. And we start to meet new people. This is for me when the party starts. So it took us about 15-20 minutes, and we settled exactly here, from this tree to the tree over there, and to this tree behind you. This is where our camp was. Right behind you, you can see the road. That was the main entrance to the party area.
This road here.
Now, where you see the pictures, this is where we had the main dance floor.
La pista
On the
principal.
right side, where you have the flowers, this is where the stage was. And you can see that there is one big long tree over there behind you. This is where the second stage was, and all the way between this stage to that stage we had a lot of shops. You can buy food, alcohol, do a massage, buy clothes, everything.
Puestos.
So it was kind of a small town, and you can do everything you want. Now in this area, all the way there, we had the camping area, and as I said, this is where we actually camp our tent, and we put some shade above our head, and we were supposed to be a total of 33 people. Around 3 a.m. we already finished building everything here, and me, my brother Dan, Adir and Sarah, we start to travel between the dance floors and getting slowly into the festival vibes, trying to forget our day-to-day life and relax and meet new people. That was our goal. Until 5 a.m. most of our friends already arrived here, and we were already a little bit drunk, having fun, making jokes, dancing in both dance floors. And we felt like we are in the right place. This is going to be a really good festival, really good party. So the sun starts to shine, and you can see some lights, and time goes by. It's around 6:20. We're having a really good time. It's not hot yet, but you can see the sun, you can see the clear sky. It was a really beautiful day. And my brother tells me, well, it's getting warm, I want to go back to the camp to change clothes, short clothes. So we get here back to the camping area, and most of our friends were here. And my brother goes to the back, we talk to our friends, and 10 minutes later, suddenly the music stopped. I couldn't understand what the DJ said, or it wasn't the DJ, it was one of the organizers. But I remember that I looked to the sky and I saw all the rocket trails coming from Gaza and all the trails from the Iron Dome trying to intercept the rockets. And I remember it was very clear. Suddenly the sky turned from blue to dark, to gray. And as soon as I just took my eyes back to the ground, I saw my father call me. My dad calls and I pick up the phone. He tells me that right now there are rockets in the center and also all over the south. I didn't even allow him to keep talking. I just told him, don't worry, we are getting the hell out of here. And I hang up the phone. I told my brother and a couple of friends that came with us, grab your bags, leave everything else behind, we are going out. So we were running towards the emergency exit, it was over there, and we find cover behind trees as small as this one, so there was no real cover.
Claro.
There was nothing to cover. And for 15 minutes we didn't know what to do.
Okay.
during this time, we were arguing, should we go, should we stay, should we bring the car, leave the car. But after 15 minutes, we heard from very, very far away gunshots. And we understood something here is not normal, it's not just rockets. At the beginning, we didn't really know what it is, if it's the IDF, it's the Hamas terrorists, we were not sure. But then I recognized that the gunshots, they were shot on automatic. And there is a different sound between automatic and single shots. And if you've been in the IDF, you know that most of the time we use a single shot. We barely use automatic because we want to save ammunition. At this point, I took the keys to the car and I ran toward the car. It was 50 meters away from us. And I thought I would get the car closer to us. And that's what I did. But while I was driving, for 50 meters only, I almost ran over people because people were running like crazy. At this point, I asked my friend Adir to replace me because I cannot. I drank a lot of alcohol. I cannot drive. And we switched seats, and we were heading towards the exit from there. There is a road that's leading to the main road. When we got to the main road, we had two options, to the left or to the right. Now at this point of time, we still don't know what's going on. We have no idea what is about to come. And if you live in Israel, you are used to terror, something new to us. I've never been part of it, but it happens almost every week, sometimes even more than once a week. So we know that normally after a few minutes, either the army or the police will just join the event and they will take over, and we're supposed to be safe.
Vas muy bien, vas bien, vas bien, ¿te entiendes?
So we need to decide either to the left or to the right. On the left side, there was a traffic jam. We saw it 50 meters ahead, there is a traffic jam, no one is moving. So we turn to the right. As soon as we turn to the right, we see a lot of cars driving towards us. We stop the car, we ask one of the cars what is going on there, and they told us that it's the entrance to the Be'im, there are terrorists shooting cars. So we start to understand that they are here, they are close. We made a U-turn, we got stuck in the traffic jam, but we still didn't know what it means. We thought, okay, maybe 1, 2, 3, 5 terrorists. We will survive it, it's not that big. And slowly more and more cars getting stuck behind us, and the traffic jam gets bigger and bigger. And the terrorists, the shots, the gunfires, they come closer and closer. And at some point we heard the shots hitting the first cars behind us. People start to abandon their cars and run like crazy between the cars on the side of the road. And so did we. Me and my brother took to the right side, Adir and Sarah took to the left side. That was the point that we separated. Me and my brother were hiding on one of the tunnels on the side of the road, just trying to stay very low. And after a few minutes that we can't find Adir and Sarah, we called them, and Adir told me that they are already running towards the east, this direction, and they are running in the open fields. I asked Adir where exactly, but it was very hard to explain. He did tell me that he saw a police officer with a gunshot in his leg and bleeding from his mouth. Okay. So I understood that this is probably what we need to do as well, to run towards the open fields, we not stay on the main road. And before we go to the fields, to run back toward my car, grab my bag and put inside water. And that's what I did, under heavy fire. Managed to escape between the cars, and I got back to my brother. Me and my brother started to run towards the open fields. At It's pure nature, very difficult terrain, and for 15 minutes we thought that we were getting to a safe place. We heard that we were getting away from the gunshots, and we thought, okay, things are a bit better now. And then, out of nowhere, suddenly we hear gunshots from behind us, from the right side, from the left side, and we saw thousands of people, including us, running for our life. At some point, the shots were hitting the ground and the trees right next to us. You could see the bullets hitting the tree, and the tree, like small explosion from the tree, and we decided to try to find cover. At this point, I told my brother there was a road made out of sand, but a road, and on the left side there was a downhill to a valley, maybe 10 meters, maybe a bit more. And I told my brother, let's go down. And we start to slide, and while we slide down, I remembered that in a combat, it's important to stay high and not low, because when you're low, you have no cover. Okay. We stop and we climb back up.
No. It's okay.
So we climb back up, and as soon as we get to the top, we hear gunshots from the bottom of the valley, and we saw hundreds of people running for their life. We ran as well, we had nothing that we could do. I remember that at some point, me and my brother were always running one next to each other, and at some point, I didn't see him, he was behind me. And I stopped, and I realized that he's behind me. I told him, bring me the backpack. From now on, you run first and I run behind you. As the elder brother, I felt the responsibility for my younger brother. So around 8 a.m., we were always running from the heavy shots, from the heavy fire, sorry. There was always shooting around us, but at 8 a.m. I remember that it was directly at us, and again we go downhill, and we stop after 3 meters. We stopped, and I turned my head back up, and I look and I see two terrorists on motorcycles. I saw the rifle of one of them, and I thought, that's it, that's our last moments. So I look back up and I see those two terrorists, and I think, okay, that's it, it's over. And I close my eyes, and for 10 seconds I saw my life goes by. In my mind I was saying goodbye to my parents, my friends, and after 10 seconds I open my eyes, they are still there, and suddenly they decide to move on without even looking at us. We climb back up, we keep running, and me and my brother were both asthmatics, so it was difficult for us to run for so long. We already covered around 8 kilometers at this point of time. And so my brother asked me to break, and it's funny, but I was just trying to look for a place to find cover, and I saw a huge tree, huge one. And at this point of time, in my mind, it looked like the picture of Tree of Life. You know, it was like, I felt like it's a miracle happening in front of my eyes. So we ran towards this tree and we find cover on the ground behind him. It was a heavy tree, it wasn't a small one. We find cover for 30 seconds, maybe 1 minute, and we hear the gunshots getting closer to us. So we decided we cannot keep waiting and we must move on. Now, it was a game, like a mouse and a cat. They're getting closer, and we find a way to get away and find cover and try to do everything quietly so they will not see us. We still don't know at this point of time how big the event is, and we still don't know what's going on. And we kept running towards the sun. This was our target. Keep running towards the east. East is the sun, and had no clue where we are, what's in front of us, and we were just running blindly. We tried to separate ourselves from the big groups of people because we thought that the terrorists will aim for the big groups because they are easy targets. They can see them, they go there, and they can murder as many as they want. Around 8:30 we actually find ourselves only the two of us alone. And suddenly out of nowhere it was quiet for a few minutes and suddenly the shots are getting towards us and we hear them coming closer and closer. We find a cover behind an abandoned car. We were hiding on one side and they were shooting on the other side of the car. Again, we thought, that's it. It's over. This is our last moments. I mean, it doesn't make sense that we are going to survive it. So we were looking to the left, to the right, and we saw about 30-40 meters away from us a group of abandoned cars. And I told my brother, let's try to crawl all the way over there, maybe they will not see us. And we start to crawl on the ground, and after about 5-10 meters, a few bullets hit the sand right next to my hand. I was on the ground and it hit about 10-15 centimeters away from my hand. All the sand flying towards my face, towards my mouth. It got into my eyes, into my nose. I remember until now the taste. I yelled to my brother, run, run, run. And we both stand running towards the cars. We managed to get to this group of cars and we find cover behind one of them. But they keep shooting at us. And then I choose to believe that it was thanks to God help, but one of the 6 cars was still running, it was on, and it was a Hyundai Tucson, so it was quite good for this kind of terrain. And we quickly ran toward the car, and we get into the car, escape the shots from the terrorists. After a few seconds, they just stopped shooting at us because they saw that we were getting away. About 2-3 minutes later, we get back to the big groups of people, and in a matter of seconds, hundreds of people running toward the car and begging us to save them. In about 10 seconds, we were already between 8 to 10 people in the car. And we still didn't find our friends Adir and Sarah. We kept driving, we spoke with them on the phone and tried to locate them, but it's very hard. We're talking about pure nature, no roads, no maps, no nothing. And after about 30-40 minutes drive, I stopped on the side and we were already far away from the shootings and the people. And I thought, it doesn't make sense. I mean, if we are 40 minutes in the car, we probably already passed them. I tell everyone in the car, I think that we already passed them, and we're going to go back towards the heavy fire. And one of the ladies at the back seat, she begged me not to do that. She said, this is your life, this is our life. We are already a lot of people, and she tried to convince me. At some point I need to understand that 10 people in the car, there is a lot of noise. And I got not mad, but like I had to take a decision. So I told everyone, look, we are safe here. If you don't feel comfortable, you can leave the car here. I will come pick you up again. But they came with me, they are my best friends, and I'm not leaving them behind. Everyone supported my decision, and we all went back. There was one officer that we saw on the way, and then he saw us coming back and tried to signal us not to go there, but we just kept moving. And after 5 minutes driving back toward the fire, we managed to send location on WhatsApp to Adir and Sarah. and we understood that they're on the other side, very, very far away, but still in danger. So we drive towards them, and eventually we managed to find them. And I remember the moment, it was like just like taking out of a movie, a Hollywood movie, you know. I'm driving on the side of the road, not a real road, you know, sand road, but still. And suddenly they jump behind a tree, and I look to the right and I see them. This is emotional moment. You see them and suddenly like time stopped by. I don't know, I felt like for a few seconds nothing happened. And they ran towards the car, they joined us, and we thought, let's get to Be'eri, towards Be'eri. It's about 9 a.m., a bit later, 9:15, and I know it sounds weird, but we still have no idea what's going on. We had no clue. So we drive towards Be'eri, we get stuck in the mud, we rescue ourselves, we are getting very close to the entrance. Right before the entrance, I looked to the left side and I saw the Thai workers that work in the farms peeping between the fence, looking with their eyes, and I saw their faces. They look so scared and terrified, and I felt like something was wrong. Getting to the yellow gate, to the entrance to Be'eri, Sarah screamed from the back, "Don't go there, don't go there. Something is wrong, don't go there." And that's all I needed. I just made the U-turn and I ran away from there. We were trying to find a way to get to a normal road, and we were driving for 15 minutes right next to the road. It was 10 meters away from us, but we couldn't get on it. And we are totally alone. There is no one in front of us, and behind us I'm driving 120 kilometers per hour, and we are very far away from everything. And suddenly I see a lone person just pointing us to go this direction. I stopped next to him, asked him, "What's going on? What are you doing here?" And he told me, "I just separated from my friends." And I told him, "Jump in." His name is Ben, and he's very important for our survival story. Now I want to describe how 12 people fit in a car. I was driving, my brother next to me, and a lady was sitting on his legs. 6 people at the back seat, and another 3 at the trunk. And we finally managed to get to the road. And as soon as we go to the road, my brother tells me, "Ron, I think I'm having a heart attack." Now we are, I think, about 1 hour away from a hospital. And I thought to myself,
Ben is a doctor. Ben was a doctor.
Ben was a doctor.
Yes?
Another movie.
Maybe a different kind of a doctor, but I don't not. So my brother told me, I think I'm having a heart attack, and I start to drive like crazy, 180 kilometers per hour. That's twice the speed limits, and I cross all the red lights. At some point, we get very close to the entrance to Ofakim. We were at the entrance of Ofakim, and I saw a police car with a police officer blocking the entrance. I stopped next to the police and I asked the police officer to get us an ambulance. And he tells me that at this point of time there are no ambulance available all over the south. I ran back toward the car and the police officer told me, "You can go to the police station, it's away, and you will get first treatment." I ran back to my car, to our car, and I tell my brother, and he said, "No, Ron, only hospital." I'm about to drive, and then we hear the alarms, the sirens. Now, when you hear sirens and you're in a car, you need to shut off the car and try to get as far away as possible, lay on the ground, and put your hands on your head. And I did it. I turned off the car and I start to run. And then Ben, he asked me, "Oh, do you have the code to the car?" And I realized I don't. Immediately I ran back toward the car and I managed to turn it on. It's maybe 10 seconds. Normally take maybe 20 or 30 seconds until you get out. That's why Ben is important.
Por eso
Por eso Ben es importante para la sobrevivencia.
¿Por eso?
Es el protagonista de Por eso sobreviven.
Ah, sí,
We find
sí.
cover for 5 minutes. Normally you're supposed to wait 10, but I was afraid for my brother's life. And we go back to the car, we start to drive toward Soroka. Now, as I said, the time was supposed to be about 1 hour and 10 minutes. We managed to do it in about 35 minutes with a break in the middle. So before we got to the hospital, we had to cross 3 roadblocks of the police. Each time we get close to the roadblocks, we see all the guns pointing at us. When we got close for the first time, I realized that we are so many people in a white Jeep and maybe they think that we are terrorists. So I open all the windows and I ask everyone to just push their hands outside and say we're Jewish, and that's how we crossed each and every roadblock. We arrived to the hospital at 10:30. We were part of the first people that got there. Just so you understand, there is a count of how many people get to the hospital every day. So at midnight it starts from the beginning. At 10:30, my brother was number 37 only 37.
en llegar al
They
hospital.
barely had any injured people at this point of time. They were waiting. And they took my brother on a bed and they didn't want to let us get in to the emergency. They didn't want to let me to get in with my brother. So I start to explain to them what we've been through and they start to realize the big picture. So at this point I start to realize what just happened and I collapsed over there. I didn't pass out, but I was like, I didn't really know what to do. I was crying for hours. And after maybe 30 minutes, my friend Adir comes and he tells me that my brother is okay, everything is fine, it's not a heart attack. So we are okay. But slowly we start to see soldiers, police officers coming with gunshots all over their body. I saw one police officer with shots from here until from his right shoulder to his left leg, all the way, bleeding, and all he cared about is his fellows that are fighting right now. And that's the Jewish spirit, the Israeli spirit. We always try to take care of our friends, for our loved ones. After 2 hours at the hospital, we decided that we cannot stay there anymore. There was blood everywhere, and more wounded people arrived. One of my friends arrived with a gunshot in his leg, and we felt that's too much for us and we need to get away. There was a nice family living in Be'er Sheva. They actually collect us to their place because the police didn't allow us to live in Be'er Sheva. We stayed there for 24 hours and we came back on Sunday morning, noon actually, back to Tel Aviv. And that's when the real struggle starts, the real pain starts. For the first 3 months, every time I blink, I see pictures from here. I couldn't go back to work. I find myself shaking a lot. And until today, I barely sleep. I sleep between 1 to 3 hours a night. And that affects my day-to-day life. I couldn't go back to work because I can't concentrate. I'm tired most of the day. And about 2 months ago, at some point, it was very early in the morning after a sleepless night. I got to a point that I made a decision. I have two options, two ways that I can choose. Either I will be the victim, or I will rise again and become a better person. And I choose try to be a better person. That's the day I lost my depression and I got back to life. And since then I'm trying to be the voice of my community, of the Nova community. I'm one here, but there are thousands of us. Most of my community, they are young people, not 38. And they are not back to normal, they are not even back to their families, some of them. They cannot communicate, they barely go out. And I will say a few more things. First of all, the Nova company become an organization to actually support the survivors and memorize the death. And they are amazing people. They invest a lot of money in us. Some of them are my friends, by the way. They try to make sure that we receive all the help, the support that we need. Some people who want, to get a new job, they help them. Some people need vacation, they help them. Some people need money to the bank account. They try their best to help them. And now, actually, this is what gives me the power to rise again and to keep pushing forward and to try to become a better person. The idea that I'm going to help my community, my friends, and I'm going tomorrow actually on a tour to the US, New York, to do some fundraising for the Nova community. So I'll start with 11 days, then I'm coming back, and then I will go again. Probably all over America, from north to south. Already got invitation to Canada, Mexico, Argentina, Uruguay. So you are all going to see me hopefully again. And that's my testimony. That's my story.
Thanks for sharing with us.
Oh my God! I also received one from another group, but not the same. Not the same.
כתוב עם ישראל חי.
Wait.
Imagínate si lo dan a nosotros. Esto me lo quedo yo. Habría facor y se lo sigue.
I hope it's it's medium. Let's see.
This press.
I need to lose some weight, but it's okay.